Many dream of going on a cruise, a type of journey on enormous ships filled with entertainment. Besides the amazing sea view, these ships offer shows, water parks, casinos, and even special spaces. However, behind all this fun, things happen that we may not always be aware of. Before we delve into the hidden secrets of cruises, I ask you to subscribe to the channel. We release new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, exclusively designed to enrich your knowledge and provide information that will make you an even more interesting person with relevant content. Alright, let's travel back in time. Humans have used boats since prehistoric times to navigate the waters. In the past, they were crafted from logs and reeds. It was only in the Middle Ages, about 600 years ago, that naval engineering from countries like Portugal and Spain took a leap, connecting continents and making the sea more accessible. Ships were primarily used to explore unknown lands and transport goods. It wasn't until the 19th century, with the invention of steamships, that passenger travel became common. In 1817, the Blackball Lines introduced the first regular route between New York and Liverpool, with fixed departure dates. However, it wasn't until around 1880 that companies started creating cruise trips for leisure. The initial focus was on offering diverse on-board experiences. Norwegian companies were pioneers, establishing regular trips to appreciate their country's beautiful fjords. In the past, trips were made on adapted ships. Only in 1900, in Germany, was the first ship built specifically for cruises. This transformed passenger navigation. Ships became luxurious, featuring pools, restaurants, and more. But with the evolution of airplanes, cruises lost popularity, leading to the disappearance of many companies. Those that survived had to adapt. Today, cruises are a major industry, especially in the United States, offering trips to the Caribbean. This generates billions of dollars. However, behind all the success and luxury, there are concerns. Some ships have been accused of poor working conditions and even slavery. Imagine working on a cruise ship, where most people are on vacation and having fun. Although it might seem like a relaxed environment, the reality for workers can often be quite different. They often endure long and irregular working hours with minimal breaks. Moreover, some reports suggest that lower-level workers receive unfair wages or are even forced to perform tasks beyond their initial agreement. In even more alarming situations, there have been accounts of workers being practically confined to the ships, unable to leave during port stops, confined to their cabins. But the workers' situation isn't the only issue with cruises. Cruise ships have grown enormous over time. Some accommodate nearly 10,000 people. This generates a lot of waste, such as sewage and dirty water. Unfortunately, a portion of this waste is dumped into the sea, polluting it with chemicals and bacteria. Many countries have laws against this, but some areas allow disposal near the coast. The United States has also prohibited waste disposal in larger areas. Companies were supposed to store waste during the journey and discharge it at ports. However, a 2021 report from The Guardian revealed that some companies are exploiting more lenient laws in Canada, using its coasts as a toilet. Currently, cruise ships are like floating cities, with populations larger than many towns. This comparison also applies to pollution, as a single ship can pollute as much or even more than some cities. Operating these massive structures requires a tremendous amount of fuel, and since companies aim to maximize profits, they often opt for heavy fuel oil, which is cheap but extremely polluting. For instance, the largest cruise company emits more sulfur oxide in a year than all of Europe's cars combined. These actions have occasionally resulted in substantial fines. In 2017, a company was fined over $40 million for directly releasing oil waste into the ocean. These irregularities impact the planet, but often go unnoticed by passengers, concealed by the allure of the journeys. Furthermore, public health is also affected. Outbreaks of viruses, like norovirus, which is spread via oral-fecal transmission through contaminated water or food, or by contact with infected individuals, are common on cruises due to the crowded environment and shared food sources. This virus has a high infectivity rate and can persist on surfaces the infected person touched. Since a cruise is essentially a large enclosed city with people moving around in close quarters, the virus spreads easily, leading to outbreaks among the crew. Some companies try to hide or distort information about contamination, often drastically impacting tourists' vacations. Many tourists suffer from food poisoning due to improperly stored or carelessly prepared food, influenced by the conditions in which the cruise is sailing, which can contribute to the proliferation of certain viruses. Cruise ships often serve as stages for crimes, including instances of homicide. About 400 people have disappeared on cruises in recent years. While this is a small percentage compared to the total number of travelers, it is concerning. A German investigation suggested that cruises can be a haven for killers due to the impunity they find. This impunity stems from various factors. Many deaths are categorized as suicides since bodies vanish at sea. This hampers investigations and evidence collection. Moreover, companies use flags of convenience to save on taxes and evade stringent laws. By registering ships in countries with fiscal and legal advantages, companies can elude investigations and consequences. This practice also leads to the exploitation of workers. Offering jobs with dollar wages in travel may seem enticing. However, many workers endure 14-hour workdays without weekly breaks. This occurs because companies adhere to the laws of the ship's registering country, often disregarding workers' rights. Cruise companies often register their ships in countries like Liberia to avoid paying minimum wages in nations with stricter labor laws, such as the USA, for instance. This affects workers, as these companies also seek cheap labor. Approximately 544,000 workers from 80 different nationalities are employed in the sector, many hailing from developing countries like the Philippines and Cuba. While wages are low compared to European and American standards, for workers from impoverished countries, this presents a valuable opportunity to earn more money. However, they frequently face challenging conditions. Some countries, like Cuba, engage in agreements with cruise companies where the government retains a significant portion of wages and enforces penalties on workers who leave their jobs before the contracts end. These issues unveil a lesser-known aspect of luxury cruises. Understanding these facts helps consumers make more informed and conscious choices, while also pressuring companies to reconsider their practices.